JoJo Solos. My gosh, we started off learning the ropes. The day one began with some interesting gameplay and certainly some heartbreak. JoJo, let's talk about what is ostensibly day three.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday we ended the day with probably one of the most intense moments we
Oh
have
yeah.
seen in the entire event so far, with Locochon just barely making it into the bunker at the end of the day. And I mean, I think that's really going to set the mood for today. There's going to be a lot of drama. There's going to be a lot of fun stuff going on. Maybe more alliances or betrayals. There's going to be some fun stuff. So that's what I'm looking forward to today. And hopefully everyone has gotten the ropes of how to really get started with this survival world that is very unfamiliar to vanilla Minecraft players.
Ooh, good point. Absolutely, Jaws. The strategy here is not to be trifled with because the truth is, if you don't know how to do some of these foundational things, you're going to get tested time and time again by not just the elements, not just some of these mutant creatures, but also your fellow players and some of these challenges.
Yeah, I mean, people picked up a lot during day one. That was the idea. Just get used to the new mechanics of modded Minecraft and the new skill tree, new tech tree, sorry. And yesterday, for the first time, it was all put into good use. But now day number two, you're thinking, okay, the refinement period. And this is where you need to be upgrading and like know the objectives you kind of want to go for. We know how important like the cornucopia refills are, the creature hunts are. You need to be able to complete those mini challenges or you're just going to get left in the dust.
Absolutely. And it's worth reminding everybody that if you die, you are gone. Dunzo, Washington. Let's take a look at what today's format will look like, which, if you joined us yesterday, it's going to look pretty similar, but JoJo with far fewer players.
Right. Yeah. I mean, as we've mentioned throughout the past couple days, we started with over 2,000 people interested in wanting to play. Only 200 people got to actually enter the event. And then, I mean, you can see we're down to 116 players. Today, we are probably going to see about half of them go. But we are on day three. This is a survival battle royale. You got to do what you got to do to win the entire event. There are going to be some challenges coming up that we
Oh,
saw
yeah.
yesterday. And there's going to be some more stuff coming in today. Jaws, what are we in for?
Yeah, so we've seen Creature Hunt already and the Cornucopia refill. With the Creature Hunt, you actually got an airdrop, which gives you ammo, maybe a weapon, some supplies. One thing we haven't actually seen yet is the Bounty Hunter. We spoke about it yesterday, but we didn't end up seeing it, so I'm expecting today and tomorrow to enact the challenge. Basically, you get assigned prey, but there's also someone hunting you as well. Like, you got to be careful, and if you get the kill on the other player, hey, you get a sweet, sweet prize selector, and that's going to be a big bonus to your resources and everything. So you're hunting somebody, but you're also being hunted, but you need to find the kills, so you need to get better weapons. We've seen how effective they've been already.
Absolutely. And boy, you are not wrong, and especially once we come down to this strategic element. JoJo, alliances, we saw a lot of them being made towards the middle, towards the end of yesterday, and some, I suspect, will be changed today.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what I'm looking forward to today, because as Jaws just mentioned, there is going to be a challenge of bounty hunting, but that is completely up to RNG who you get assigned and who is assigned to you in order to hunt. So if one of your alliances is someone you have to hunt down, are you going to betray them? Are you going to stay loyal to your alliance? Ultimately, only one person can win. But alliances, it's just a handshake agreement, but it's not binding by any means. You can still damage your alliances whether you are in the alliance or not. So you definitely have to watch your back coming in today. A little bit scary, but I think I'm mostly here for the drama. I want to see someone betray, not because I want it to happen, just because I like the drama.
I love it. Sabotage as a strategy. I am into it. And quite frankly, with that much on the line, Jaws, this is not just a grind, but it is also winner take all, literally.
Yeah, only one winner will get that 100k. I mean, it's pretty insane, and it's getting more intense every single day, right? We've got 116 people left, but we've only got today and tomorrow. And so those jumbers need to drop real fast. So I'm not expecting the GA to last too long today. Of course, now on your screen, you can see the players that are still remaining. Some big names and some big plays, actually, from a lot of people on your screen right now. Elspreen solo playing the entire time yesterday. didn't group up in an alliance, got some insane kills, and was just running around on a horse basically playing cowboy. That's all. That's all they were doing. Just gunning people down. Oh, you're at the cornucopia? Yeah, easy game. Just gun, and it was really hard to get away from him. The mechanics were good. His movements were really good, and a lot of weaker players are now just falling by the wayside. Dashnirth came out number 1. Out from day number 1. I think they have a kill or 2 under their belt, but today is going to be the day. It's going to separate the good from the bad.
And
Yeah,
the,
I
as
mean,
say, the great.
Yeah, I'm looking at this list. You guys already know I'm rooting for H-Bomb. I'm a big fan of H-Bomb, all right? But you also see some other pretty big names in here. We see Puns, we see Shadoon. I'm also a big fan of Fairly Gab. I mean, there's a lot of really, really good players here who, some of them are still playing in an alliance, and some of them are actually still alone, not really making any friendships. Maybe it's strategical. Maybe they're waiting for the week to fall and then wait until the very end to start forming some alliances. And then here on this screen, we're actually seeing some of the fallen players, unfortunately. 07's in the chat for them. They tried their best, but alas, they couldn't make it to day 3. But actually, funny enough, we were tallying up the numbers. Almost half of the players who were eliminated to mines and plants and mobs. Like,
Yeah.
that is so sad.
Exactly.
Just
Something
the
that couldn't
environment
talk back.
just picked up so many kills. It was crazy. I can't believe we got a plant elimination. Like, that's absurd. Please, no more dying to the plant, please.
Well, I was going to say, a plant took down your chances of winning $100,000. I will also say that we talk about this being a grind. I mean, it truly is. And it's one of those things, Jaws, that, like, not to be undone, like, not to be discounted, because the reality is that these maps are just about as deadly as the players in this lobby.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we've seen so many clips already of people just dying to the environment. Like, yeah, some of the players, they're pretty tough to take down, but sometimes even the mobs are going to get on top of you. Like, the wolves are just so deadly.
They are, in fact. Well, before we move on with today's deadly event, let's take a look at some of the most exciting moments from yesterday's Hunt and Run with Hilo Juan Day 2 competition with a little help from Braun. These clips are the best of the best. I gotta tell you, gang, I love this segment because
Hello,
Jaws, you
Alex.
were just talking about this.
Yo,
Yeah.
Playing cowboy.
Yeah, the horse combat is like super, or like just getting a horse is super important. Like, the mobility aspect and like also getting to the bunker so you don't die and are almost stranded and only have 15 seconds to actually get there before you end up going down. Like, it is super important. Pretty honorable 1v1 here. No third parties in sight, but this is what it's about. Nice kill on the horse, by the way. Like, so Elridge can't get away. A lot of players have got like insane weapons, like in terms of guns, but sometimes you don't even need that. It's all good. Dashnirth, of course, obviously on your screen, was number 1 coming out of day 1 and ended up picking up huge kills early on.
Absolutely. And Jojo, this was a heartbreaking little moment because it was like, oh, they're mining, everything's fine. And then
Yeah,
Ahí
so I
postealo
was
otro
talking about
mapa,
this a
tío.
lot yesterday. Like, I have a big fear of just going into a cave and not really fully exploring it before sitting down and actually mining everything. Because ultimately, you might think you're safe, and the next thing you know, you get attacked by a panther. And I mean, how did it even get in here? And there's just nothing you can do. You're trapped in this little hole. You weren't prepared for it, and there goes $100,000 gone.
yeah, mutant panthers not to be trifled with outside or inside caves. And that, of course, is a moment that is probably going to follow that streamer for quite some time. But then our third and final. Oh, and this, I love this streamer. I love George so much, partly because every time he kills someone now in this competition, he's like, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." But Jojo, let's talk a little bit about what he's
Wait,
doing
it is someone.
here, actually, because it's been kind of a whoopsies.
Yeah, so you can see as
siento.
they're trying to
Lo
communicate
siento
with this
mucho.
player, as they're also attacking them, they're getting shot at the same time, and they're
¿Por qué?
thinking, maybe I don't have to kill you. You're saying, I'm sorry, and
¿Por qué?
maybe there was some miscommunication because it turns
Sí,
out
yo también.
that
No,
George thought that they were
liar,
saying they're solo,
mentirosa.
but when they got shot from the other side of the world in this cave, they were like, "You lied to me," and then started their escape or maybe trying to fight, but. Yeah, it's truly a heartbreak for that player.
Yeah, a heartbreak indeed. But also, really fun for us to watch. At
Oh
any
yeah.
rate, this has been Braun's Best of the Best. Clip your favorite moments from today's show, and they might make it into our next segment and could be in the running for Gillette's Best of the Best moments. Now, Braun has long been the best kept secret for a superior dry shave and a fascinating fusion of design and function. Not only do you get a high quality shave experience, but it's the absolute best grooming tool for your personalized routine. Braun, designed for what matters. Oh man, I'll tell you what else matters, Jaws, is your ability to utilize everything you can possibly get your hands on. And I don't know if you noticed this, but this is such a BR thing, that like ammo buffet that comes when you take somebody down on this map, which is kind of this nice, really great for the person being taken, great for the person taking down the other, but not so great for that person who's eliminated.
Yeah, it's the funny thing, right? Because you want to separate time for just gathering resources on your own, progressing the skill tree, getting better armor, getting better weapons. But then it's like, well, if I just kill somebody, then they've done all the work for me, right? So it feels like you really do need to find that balance. And a lot of people did end up doing that. You get a couple of weapons under your belt, you're like, okay, I'm just going to go kill somebody because then I could drop armor, and then they've already gathered all the resources for you. It's that fine line that you kind of have to walk, and a lot of players end up finding it. I mean, I'll mention El Serene again. Did exactly that, it felt like. Got some decent armor under his belt, had a decent amount of health, a horse, couple of guns, and then just went on a killing spree.
And the killing spree, once again, great for us to watch. Jojo, I do think it's important to mention that everybody starts off in a bunker, whether that bunker is super populated with other players, other alliances, or if that bunker is just you and your next good friend. That bunker mentality combined with the gentleman's agreement for the first 15 minutes, very key for the beginning of this tournament today.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too because as we saw Locochon yesterday barely making it into the bunker in the last 20 seconds of the game, I was watching and I realized there's only one other person in that bunker, and maybe they're gonna have some bunker talk, maybe they're talking right now, who knows? But I assume maybe they might become in an alliance because both of those players were actually not in an alliance. So I'd like to see some of those friendships bloom and maybe no betrayal today, but maybe tomorrow.
I love how optimistic you are there, Jojo. I personally am going for the bloodbath. Either way, it is time for Guessing with Duncan, where you have the chance to win big. Now check out the polling widget in the extension, make those predictions, and watch your name shoot up our leaderboard. Now the top 10 finishers get $10 Duncan and Twitch gift cards. And the first place winner claims a sweet Duncan sling bag, plus entry into a monthly drawing for a Duncan and Twitch Rivals co-branded gaming chair for one lucky winner. Enter !Duncan for full rules. Cast your prediction right now. Which gives me the excellent segue to ask, let's talk predictions. We talked about what we want to see. Jaws, let's start with you. What is it that you think we're going to see, and does it have anything to do with Bounty Hunter becoming a challenge today?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of does. I'm going to make a prediction on how many players I think is actually going to be left. It's just because we're at 116. We've got today and tomorrow we need to obviously crown a winner. And we have 116 people left, probably meaning, well, ending with about, I reckon it's going to be like 60 or something. I reckon we're going to have a big day in terms of kills, maybe even 50. In fact, I'll go 50. We're going to be minus 66 today in terms of player count.
My gosh. Okay, Jojo.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a different sort of prediction here. Because I completely agree with you. My prediction is going to be the Hannah Sapnap Puns team alliance. They are going to go on a killing spree today. They are going to take over the world. We listened in on a little bit of their comms yesterday, and we heard them saying, yes, we should totally go to the cornucopia. We could get all this good loot. And, given that we're going to see more monuments popping in today, I think they're going to want to go for that, and they're going to demolish anyone that comes across their way.
I do appreciate the difference between offensive and defensive, especially in this map. It harkens me back to my Apex days where you've got those third parties that could be happening with these alliances, or I guess fourth parties? That could be a thing. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, it's fine. But either way, it's what's fascinating, I think, Jaws, about this competition here today is that you have so many facets. There's no one clear path to victory. And I think for me on a prediction side, I am predicting / hoping that we're going to see some of those rats, some of those single players. We saw it earlier. We saw it in the first day with Fruit Berries, where he literally in the death match made himself a little home and just sat back and watched the blood come from all of his other players, all these other people, and he made it through as number one. So that's what I'm hoping for / curious will happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good possibility that we're going to have a lot of solo players. Today would obviously be the day to kind of group up. You need a strong team, because if you're running into the other squads, like, the chances of you surviving are pretty slim, unless you're going up against George, who can just pick someone off and then run away and make the greatest escape possible of all time. Like, I think the idea today would be, if you haven't found an alliance yet, maybe chat to some fellow players in the bunkers, see what's going on with them, have they got any room for someone else, and then go from there. But there's going to be a big possibility of just people playing rat still, like playing solo still, because the map is so big as well. So like the likelihood of you coming across other people that maybe you already know that you want to get into alliance with, it might be pretty slim.
Well, and I think this alliance strategy, I'm just so in love with it, mostly because there has to be one. So then, Jojo, the question then becomes, especially in this back half of this tournament, it becomes, when do you backstab? When do you get to that place where you're like, no, I am number one? And more importantly, what does that look like ahead of time? Because it's a mind situation.
Yeah, I mean, I've been thinking about it as if I were in that position. And, you know, I think I talked about it maybe on day one, but I think my chance of backstabbing would have to come when everyone else is also fighting other people. I feel like if there is like a huge team fight and one of my teammates is already hurt, we're already evidently about to win the fight as a team. Why not just a couple, you know, gunshots to the back, and, you know, you end up winning it, and there you go. But I think strategically, holding on to your alliance for day 3, I think is crucial. I don't think betrayal should happen today unless the bounty hunter challenge is so important to you. Ultimately, I would say day 4 is the day. I mean, you're gonna have to anyway. Day 4 is the last day. So.
You know what would be really funny if we see like a trifecta of bounty hunter, just like there's a 3-person squad and each one of them have each other as the targets. That would be insane. Or like even the 4-player, right? You can have each other as the targets. Like that's a real possibility. 116, the probability is pretty slim, but if you're in a 4-person team, like if one person has another and then another person has another, I mean, anything can happen.
Absolutely. Well, and let's talk about this for a second. So George yesterday was, you know, he basically got himself into trouble thinking that there was a solo player when in fact that player was a part of an alliance. We saw it in our clips. Well, like Jaws, when it comes to the alliance logistics, we talk about, do you stay together? We had a couple of those mentions yesterday. Do you stay together, or do you strategize and cover more ground? I think that's going to be a fascinating element to today's gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, ideally you just kind of stick together roughly in the same area. Make sure you got enough stamina to reach one of your teammates, because otherwise, that will happen like George, right, where you can just pick someone off, and it's useless being in a team if you're not kind of near them and they can help you in a fight, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know what? We have this plus so much more coming up. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. We're just gonna shake our head here because we were talking about it as we were coming back.
Yeah.
Just how, do you, chat. We believe more in you than this maze would
Someone is
showcase.
trolling the maze. Someone in the chat is trolling, and they are sabotaging the completion of the maze. Please get better.
Yeah, please get better. We need this for our own entertainment in between breaks. So if you could help us out, that'd be great. Speaking of, we've got a great competition still yet ahead. We have 116 players in our lobby. And Jojo, one of the elements we talked about earlier is that today's map is just going to get bigger.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
we're going to be exploring some new monuments, which I think is going to be really cool. We saw yesterday it was the big caverns or the giant caverns, and that I mean, we saw some fights kind of forming in there. We saw some alliances forming in there. So I'm curious to see what sort of loot and drama will be brought by the new monuments that we're going to see today.
Well, new elements to the map is also great. You may be noticing another new feature we have on the Twitch Rivals stream, and it's called The Feed, where we bring you your commentary directly into this show using graphics. You can join the conversation by dropping some fire comments, only fire comments here, people, in chat, or send us your best memes and one-liners on X or Instagram at Twitch Rivals. Use the hashtag #TRFeed, and maybe you'll see your comment on this show. And I will say, what a day to start those comments. What a day to be a part of that conversation, because as we know, we are going to need to slash and burn so many in this lobby. Jaws, you predicted so few. You predicted 50 people were going to be left, which, considering we have to be down to 1 as of the end of the day tomorrow, I think is totally valid. Jojo, at this point, what do you think? Because we saw yesterday, obviously, how the mutant creatures, how the landmines, how a plant could kill. Do we think that it's going to be swinging in the direction of the other players' PvP at this point?
Yeah, I think it's possible. I think depending on what structure or what new monument we're looking at today, I think it's definitely going to sway some things, because I do remember from day one, the tutorial day, I remember some of the mobs we saw, and I have yet to see them in the world.
Right.
So they might be coming across some of those. I remember specifically some giant like whale type thing. It was definitely an aquatic animal, but I have no idea what it actually was. So maybe we're gonna see something there. A little bit excited, a little bit scared. We talked about how I got that one phobia of open water, whatever. But it's gonna be scary. I do think it's gonna be another 50-50 split between dying to PvP and dying to natural causes.
See, that's why you need to be in a group. If you want to take down big mobs, you need more firepower.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of firepower, Jaws, let's talk real quick about weaponry, because yesterday we saw, obviously, some people utilizing the guns, a lot of melee, a lot of swords. Talk to me about what you're expecting here today. Is it a tier 1 day, or are we going to continue on with tier 2 and 3?
Yeah, I mean, with the more of the map opening up, you're expecting better resources, meaning better weapons. Like, we saw a little bit of tier 2 weaponry yesterday. Some of the rifles, the purple rifle that has the scope. I think we saw the bolt action as well, the bolt action white sniper rifle, and then the shoddy as well, the red shotgun from tier 2. And like, those 3 weapons, extremely powerful on their own, but we didn't see too many of them. It was mainly people that were getting the cornucopia refill and just like finding deep chests in the caverns. So as we unlock this next part of the map, I imagine we're going to get a sprinkling of tier 3 weaponry. So I know yesterday some people didn't even have guns, and if they did, maybe they had 1 or 2, maybe a couple of bullets for them. Like, people need to get weapons under their belt like right now, at least the tier 2 stuff. Otherwise, you're going to be at such a massive disadvantage later down the line.
In fact, yeah, Jojo, one of the things I think would be good to give is your pro tips when it comes to I'm going to use the word surviving in the caves, because the reality is that it doesn't just involve other players. It involves elements of the caves that we saw take people down, and once you're down, you're down.
Yeah, I think when it comes to survivability, We've seen some play. At least I've seen some players, watching clips, where they're more wary of their surroundings. We even saw
Mhm.
H bomb as they were slowly walking around a building, making sure there were no landmines. We saw a lot of people dying to landmines,
Mhm.
and checking for any traps and trying to get around. I think especially in caves where
Yeah.
it's very dark.
Yep.
You want to make as many torches as possible, sort of light up the area that you're going to be in, because it seems like a lot of the mobs kind of, once they get aggro on you,
Yeah.
they stay aggro on you. We saw a lot of cases yesterday where people were just hiding in their little house and there was just like a bear waiting outside ready
Yeah.
to kill them. Like it is crazy how the AI of these mobs is just like locking on to the player. So they need to be aware of their surroundings
Mm.
100% of the time.
Yeah, unrelenting. Jaws, one thing that we saw that's sort of fresh in our mind because, of course, we end the day with a storm. But now that the map is expanding, now that there's more room to cover, I wonder if that element will impact. I wonder also if, like, one of the things we kept saying was, hey, you know what? If you had decided to block off the entrance
Yeah,
to one of these bunkers,
that would be
guess what? He
insane.
doesn't make it through.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I want that to happen, it feels a little bit too easy
Mm,
just to kind of smash through the rubble. But the thing is, if you are super late to the bunker, like 15 seconds to go, right, maybe you do end up getting blocked off. Now the players like know how the storm mechanic works with how much time. I'm curious if the time is going to change. Maybe they lower it. Me and Jojo were speaking about it during the cast yesterday. Like maybe they lower it to 10 minutes or maybe they lower it to 5 minutes, right? People have to like make a mad dash for the bunker. But players are going to be a little bit more cognizant of the fact that they need to cover ground and how much ground they
mhm.
can cover through these different terrains too. So I can't imagine anybody dying to the storm. It'll be a freak accident if anybody does though.
Well, we almost saw it yesterday. So
Or we were close.
we were very close. That being said, that is exactly the kind of tournament gameplay that I, as a viewer, hope for. But of course, if you are playing, you hope against.
Probably not.
Yeah, hope for. Jojo, as we talk about not just these elements, but also the gentleman's agreement. If you can real quick remind our viewers what that is and how that interacts with our gameplay in terms of both time and sort of those alliances.
Yeah, so the gentleman's agreement is everyone's just agreeing to each other, no PvP, no killing one another, okay? That doesn't mean you can't die to mutant panthers
Mhm.
or
Yep.
snakes or plants. You're still very much in danger. It's not a safe world out there. But at least in regards to PvP, you can stay, pretty safe. I think it's an important part of the game
Yeah.
because it gives players a chance to form the alliances that maybe didn't get a chance to do earlier,
Mhm.
especially when you think about it. Like, this is a huge map.
Yeah.
The chances of you coming across other players is relatively low
Yeah.
unless you literally followed them out of the cornucopia.
Yeah.
So in that regard, I think a lot of people are maybe feeling some fear, maybe
Mhm.
thinking they haven't gotten the chance to talk to anyone, form an alliance. But
Mhm.
with the gentleman's agreement, you get a little bit of time. You can converse with some people before you got to run away and hope they don't come chasing you down.
No, and I love, and it's a really good point actually, because we heard over comms the alliance that has Puns and Hannah. Then they actually, Hannah was against them going to the cornucopia. Jaws, it's one of those things where every time you hear I think it's the cannon, a big announcement, the cornucopia is open, awesome, but it can also mean if there is not a gentleman's agreement already out, it can mean certain death for some people.
Yeah. I mean, you just have to make that gamble. I think the risk to reward is pretty high, but if you're in an alliance and you got teammates, you might as well go because the higher probability of better loot, like that's the only place where the level 2, like the tier 2 guns were coming from was
Sure.
the cornucopia from what we saw. So you
Mhm.
just kind of have to make that gamble. Like even if you're just like in and out real quick, you can stand up on the high ground, scout people out. If there's people there, you don't want to mess with them, like that's fine. You can just back off, but that's the only way you're going to get a bigger advantage. Like today, I mean, completely bounty hunter to get the price selector, or just like going to the cornucopia, just getting good weapons. Like you just need to make that risk. And if you're not risking it for a biscuit, like you're not risking it for 100k, like you just
Yeah.
have to. You want to give yourself the best chance possible
Mhm.
to survive these days.
Well, let me give you a hypothetical for both of you. Jojo, we're going to start with you. what would you rather have in this particular lobby, in this particular competition? Would you rather have a tier 1 or tier 2 gun, like a nice piece of weaponry, or a horse?
Ooh. See, that's actually a hard question, right? Because we saw mobility is
Mm,
key. I mean, we saw Spreen taking down a lot of players by just having the horse to their advantage, having that mobility and getting in range of how far they need to be in order to shoot certain weapons or just swing their
mhm,
sword. So I do think that's a key part, but we did also see that, tier 2, tier 1 guns have scopes. They
mhm.
have that further
Yes.
distance. We saw actually a fight yesterday where someone was I can't remember who it was, but they were chasing someone down and they were shooting a tier 3 gun, which was a shotgun. But they were just far away enough where it was literally
It-
doing half a
no
heart per bullet.
damage. Yeah,
Like
it was like
almost
0.2
nothing.
damage per pellet or something silly.
Exactly. So, in that regard, I would say I would rather have the higher tier weapons because it gives you the distance that you need in order for long range fights. Because if someone's shooting at you and you can't fight back, I think you're just done for. You got to hide, run, you got to figure something out.
You do indeed. Jaws, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, the better weapons for sure. I mean, the mobility is great with the horse and stuff, but if
Mhm.
you've just not got a weapon to defend yourself, you just need it. Like an assault rifle, or like one of the bolt action, even a bolt action sniper wouldn't be too bad, right? But
Mhm.
the tier 2 weapons are just so prominent. Plus, with the new sections of the map, it might be good to have the horse just to run in there, but you're probably going to go into close quarters because everybody's going to want to go into those new sections. So it's going to be kind of like a choke point. So people are going to be shooting each other. There's going to be probably landmines just everywhere. There might be panthers down there. You don't know, right? So you just need tools to protect yourself. Like that's the priority, right? Good weapons, then maybe good weapons and armor, medkits and stuff, and then you want like the horse. Like the horse, I think is just like an added extra, an added bonus.
Yeah, an added bonus for sure. I feel like you have an alliance. One person's got the horse, one has a tier 1, tier 2 weapon, one has a tier 3 weapon, and then
Right.
between the three of us, the three of them, or even four, that's really where the alliance, you know, shows its muster, right, Jazz?
Yeah, exactly. Like the more players you have as well, like you can spread the resources. Me and Jojo were talking about it extensively, especially with Hannah's squad. They were like, it
Yeah.
was kind of divide and conquer in a way. It was like, okay, so we're doing this, we're smelting this. Okay, we need to make mech packs, we need to do this, and then we're just traveling as a group. Or you could go the Elspreen route, right, where you're just killing everybody and then just hoarding as much loot as you can for yourself. But then relying on other people, you don't really have that. You don't really have that aspect of the game because you haven't found anybody to kind of party up with. I respect it, honestly. If you're going to go into a gunfight 1v3 and you end up killing maybe one or two, yeah, mad props. I mean, I'm looking forward to watching Elspreen if he does manage to get into an alliance. But for my sake, I hope he doesn't because I want to see him 1v3.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that too because even when we were talking about the hypothetical of mobility versus better weapon, we've been talking about how Spreen has used this horse to their ability, to their best ability, and we're not completely sure what the next monument is going to be, but I'm concerned for how people have died to landmines, and if you go in with a horse, I feel like it's harder for you to spot these
Ooh,
traps
you're
and
going too
landmines.
fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You go at a speed where you're not staring at the ground making sure is that a weird thing over there. You're kind of just going looking around for people. So that's what I'm worried about specifically with Spreen and even fruit berries. Some of our players who have been primarily on horses just playing solo. But yeah, I definitely want to see how that comes into place, especially with the new monument that we're going to be seeing today.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say what's the one of the dynamics aside from bounty hunter that we haven't seen is this idea of everybody leaving the bunker at the same time, whether that bunker is chock full of people, Jaws, or if it has, in
Yeah.
fact, like we saw yesterday, well, there's a bunker full of two people. And it's the idea of we're going to all start at the same place and then we're going to go out, but you're going to know where people are. And you're going to, obviously, the gentleman's agreement is 15 minutes, the first 15. So you can't really do a whole lot, but you can, however, scout. You can keep that
Yeah.
understanding alive.
I think, yeah, because the GA that's fairly important. You don't want people spawning in just like getting insta killed like for no reason. So
Sure.
that aspect of the game is fairly important. But with kind of knowing where everybody is, that's going to be pretty important. Like if I was in a team of like 3 or 4, like I'd be looking at the solos and being like, okay, so where are they going? Let's just kind of stick behind them. 15 minutes is a long time though, to be fair, to be kind of trailing someone. You probably want to be looking for loot and whatnot, but you kind of want to have an idea of where people have run off to, because you don't want to get surprised, you don't want to get ambushed. Like these split-second decisions can be hard to make sometimes, especially if someone's like creeping up on you. A couple of times you've seen players like literally appear out of nowhere on someone else's screen, and it's like you're dead. Like you're straight up dead if you just don't see or hear them coming. Like that, if that player didn't fire, if that player wasn't like as friendly as they were, you're done for. So yeah, that extra set of eyes, or extra 2 or 3 sets of eyes, is super important. So yeah, I'd be keeping an eye on the solos so I know where they are. Like
I wanted to add, I wanted to add how you mentioned there could be teams that sort of kind of like stalk some solos or some smaller teams to start off the game as aggressive as possible. I do agree. I think 15 minutes is kind of a long time to just kind of be trailing someone, but the more that I think about it, we saw a lot of teams progressing very quickly yesterday. They already have some of the higher tier weapons, some of the higher tier armor pieces. So ultimately, what else can you really do? You can't just keep punching grass and hoping you get, silk. You got to start going in for kills. You got to play aggro to get better loot, have as many medkits as possible, have as much of those syringes that we were seeing that give these really strong potion effects, and use that to your advantage.
You know what? I love this dynamic, and I think it's a spot on point, because day 2, aside from the understanding the alliance and getting to know the map a little bit better, day 2 I think was really about that stuff. Bring your stuff in. Make sure you've got that tree all figured out. You've got a great foundation. I think today, Jaws, we kind of have been tiptoeing around it, but I think the real thing here is today becomes aggro for a lot of people. It becomes offense versus simply defense and just looting and finding what you need to survive. For a lot of our teams, a fair percentage, it's going to be let's bring the fight to you.
Yeah, exactly. And I think people are very cognizant of that fact now, that, well, people are going to be gathered around these cornucopias, these new monuments that open up, whether it's caves. Like you've really got to be on the ball right now, because we've seen how many players have been eliminated already. There's going to be a lot more today. I almost guarantee it. Like being able to like analyze the situation, then go in just knowing full well like what you've got in your resources, how many medkits, how many what, like you want to be prepared as prepared as possible, especially when these new monuments open up, because there's going to be a whole bunch more people. Because the cornucopias, it was strange. I felt like a lot of the time people were like, man, whatever, like, yeah, maybe I'll go, maybe I won't. People were just kind of vibing around and just doing their own thing. And it's like, no, you have to go there. Like, you have to get better weapons. And the people that did, they were the ones with the tier 2. Like, they got the shotguns, they got the rifles. They like, what are you gonna hit someone with an axe? Like, no, you need to be shooting people. Like, you just got to. It's yeah, it was interesting to see that. And I think a lot of those players that were playing a little bit more passive, a little bit more of the solo style, just like, oh, I'll farm this, I'll complete the tech tree, they're going to be the people that are going to run into problems today. And like they just got to be on the ball. Like they've got to realize, like, oh god, no, I need to take risks. Sorry, I need to push into places that maybe I'm not too comfortable with.
Just too comfortable. Yeah, Jojo, sorry, I think I might have cut you off.
No, that's okay. I mean, I'm thinking the exact same thing with, if you play a little too passively, it's nice to get, stacked up with all these resources and things. But ultimately, those tier 2 weapons, they're the tier 2s and the tier 1s. They're going to be far more beneficial than having 13 medkits where you have to stand still for 15 seconds to make sure you heal up, versus just doing as much damage as possible. I think going as aggro as possible, especially on day 3, is going to take a lot of players kind of like aback. They're going to be a little surprised, but it is kind of the move you need to do in, first of all, a competitive event like this one, where there's $100,000 on the line, but also, if you're trying to make it far, if you're trying to secure your spot on day 4. I mean, I know I'd be a little scared. I will admit, if I was in this competition, I'd probably be shaking. I'd be stressing out. I'd be like, no, I just want to hide in a hole and do nothing all day. But that's not how you win $100,000.
No, but it is a
Exactly.
strategy that we saw, as we mentioned earlier, we saw Fruit Berries use early on in that death match that was pretty successful. But I think in this case, I mean, honestly, Jojo, could it? I'm like, listen, I'm pie in the sky right now because I enjoy thinking through the strategy of, the unthought of strategy. Perhaps they're the one that wouldn't be coming to mind normally. But is it something where you could actually just like find yourself a nice little build, hunker down, and say, "I'll join you on day 4."
Yeah, I think it's completely possible. I've played in several Minecraft Battle Royale sort of events and games and all of that jazz, but ultimately there are the people who are going to hide, and sometimes if you stay hidden for so long, it maybe it doesn't give you those tier 1s or tier 2
Sure.
weapons, but at least you're making it as far as possible. You could just walk into a big team fight and just bam, 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 one hit each person and they're all dead. Like you can very easily do a little cleanup. But again, that even though that is a great strategy, and I think when there's $100,000 on the line, you should do that. It's going to be very hard to find that perfect window
Hmm.
to clean up the people that you need to clean up.
Well, we're going to see who's going to be cleaning up and who's going to be part of the cleaning, and that will happen right after this. Oh man, here we go. We have had some time, of course, to get excited for today's show. We've really had 2 days worth of gameplay to build upon. And I want to real quick go back to day one. Day one, we talked about the fundamentals. They got to know this map. They got to know that fight tree that, I keep saying fight tree, it's tech tree, isn't it? And they got to know all of those little elements that could eventually help them in winning $100,000. Jojo, day one, we called it a tutorial, but there were still people that were left in the dust. Day two was a little bit different.
Yeah, it was really the day where you applied all of the things you learned from day
Mhm.
one. But ultimately, day one, even though it is like a test day, it didn't fully show you the scope of the entire arena and what the arena is truly
Mm.
capable of. And we saw it. We saw it with people dying to plants, even though they
Yeah.
had their parkour course to test out which plants give you or make you take damage and which ones don't. Even with what was it, like landmines?
Mm.
You, I don't even think they saw landmines
Yeah.
in the tutorial day.
It was
I feel like
literally
I
a
don't remember
surprise.
seeing it.
No, I don't remember
Do-
either.
yeah, exactly. So, even though they have their trial tutorial day,
Mm.
ultimately you didn't really have everything. And now everyone has kind of lived through most things. I think my biggest concern is some of these players don't even know that, something like a landmine or a bear trap even exists, right?
Yeah.
Because maybe they just haven't come across it. They've just been lucky. They've just casually walked around and there was nothing in their way to endanger them. But I'm curious to see how that's going to affect some of the players who maybe haven't seen those things just yet for today.
Mhm. Yeah, Jaws, I will say it's I'm going to sum up this tournament. Everything and everyone is out to get you.
Yeah. Oh, easily. I think that's the best way to sum it up, honestly. Doesn't matter if it's a plant, it's full damage, if it's a landmine or whatever, like it's other players. Like,
Mm.
hey, it's supposed to be hard. It's not supposed to be an easy ride, right? $100,000. If it was easy, then everybody would be a winner. And there'll be 100 people left. No, 200 people left, sorry, on the very last day. Today's going to be even tougher for sure. I'm really curious of what this new area is going to be like and like how it's going to influence the gameplay because there are going to be some really like high tier weapons or high tier
Mm.
materials, and we saw a lot of players getting to like iron level armor too, not just like the basic armor but iron, which is giving people more health. We saw the absorption as well from the injectors. Me and Jojo was speaking about that, how it might be impossible to take someone down if they've just got an advantage like that over you. If they pop the injector, pop the stim just before they go into a big fight, yeah, good luck. You have to get through that absorption first, then the health from the additional armor. Like, you need to just capitalize on these objectives. But going into the unknown is also fairly scary. Jojo said it before. We've not seen some of those monsters yet. There's like AVP level monsters, right? Where it's the predator without the thermal vision and stuff, and they're mutant kind of humanoid people kind of thing. And like, we haven't seen those yet. Like, so they're probably going to be there somewhere. So I hope people have remembered exactly what they saw in the training and like how to deal with them, or at least how much damage and health they have. Because some of those big monsters, they are tanky.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention is specifically that one you said, the mutant humanoid, whatever
Yeah.
it was called. Terrifying. Like, I remember seeing it on tutorial day. I was like, what in the world is that?
Yeah.
Why does it look so freaky? I have a little tingling sensation. We're going to see that one today. And I also have a little tingling sensation. Someone may be taken down by one of these.
100%.
But I also wanted to mention going into these monuments is great, right? Lots of loot, awesome stuff, maybe a little bit dangerous with some scary things. The problem, I think, is going to be with some of the bigger teams, right? Because when you get in there and you start looting, you're gonna have to split it up, 2 or 3 or 4 different ways, right?
Right.
So I think that might actually bring down some alliances because, as we saw yesterday, Spreen taking down a lot of people that would come across his way. He had a lot of syringes. He had a lot of medkits. He had so many things. So if he's ever in a, 1v2, 1v3, whatever it is, I feel like he's going to have more of those materials and resources that you require to stay strong throughout the entire fight, versus the other guys, they're gonna have to split up their loot. They're gonna have to, make sure that, oh, you need a syringe, but I need a syringe. Wait, you no, I want it. Shut up. Like, there's gonna be so much drama.
You have to play for yourself in that situation too, right? It's like maybe you do like a first dibs rule, like, okay, if I find it, I get it, but if I have extras, I'll share it, kind of thing. And then maybe tomorrow it's more of a bit more of a free for all within the team. Like, that's a really good point. Like, the dynamics of a team, they're really going to be tested. I think their friendship and their alliance ship, like, that's going to be tested today for sure, especially when it comes to that higher tier loot.
Oh, absolutely. And real quick, I will say, Jojo, you had asked a question of our devs earlier about people's skins. I think we saw a hamburger the other day. And definitely a couple of otters. Can you real quick walk us through that dynamic?
Yeah. I wanted to get a little bit of clarification with that because, well, we saw it yesterday. We saw people kind of dressed up as beetles or hamburgers, or someone having a huge head, which, was a little confusing. I was just like, I don't know what that means. So just for a little bit of an explanation, it's almost like if you think of like Fortnite and when you put on the bush, and it just basically gives you like one free hit that you can take damage, and then after that you actually start taking damage. So it's kind of just like a little costume, you put something on, it gives you a little bit of protection, but ultimately, it's, even though it may give away your position with having a big head or whatever it is, it's at least a little bit funny. I want to be a hamburger in Minecraft. So protection, but also gives away your position. You kind of prefer, whatever you prefer.
Yeah, it does. The idea of it being like mowed down, I guess, in this kind of a format sounds hilarious, albeit a little strange. Anyway, yes, there's that. And Jaws, I mean, one of the things I will say that I'm very much looking forward to, that I think all of our players look forward to, even though it does prolong a little bit before we get to the tournament, the actual gameplay, are some of these cutscenes, some of these cinematics that have been made specifically for this event that have, quite frankly, gotten my heart pumping and really put a nice, like, epic note to the beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah, I mean, the cinematics are always really good, and it feels like every single time we have a Twitch Rivals, cinematics just get better. And I think we're just going to jump into one right now.
Sounds good.
Did you know that I always wanted to volunteer? But the members of my sector wouldn't let me do it because they said I wasn't strong enough for it.
It's funny that you ended up as Master of Ceremonies. I guess maybe your sector would be very proud of you.
You know that being a winner of the games is not the same as being a Master of Ceremonies. But nonetheless, they still love me very much.
Living all of this in the arena really fills you with mental strength. But it's all because you get to see the faces of others who are proud to have a winner that forms part of the sector they belong to.
Oh, whoa, I would have really liked to live something like that, but I didn't get my chance. Anyways, Admiral, good morning. Are you ready for today?
Oh, Cornelius, I guess some of us just got lucky. In short, I'll tell you a little bit about what they'll talk about in this morning's presentation program. Today's monument will be the secret laboratory. The story is very simple. This place was where the most wonderful experiments in science and technology were carried out. But for some reason, certain sectors thought it was a very gruesome plan, and in the first rebellion it was destroyed. This monument is a tribute to all those scientific advancements that were destroyed. Oh, by the way, don't forget to say in your opening that they should keep their eyes peeled. Because this place is about to be full of unexpected creatures. Have a nice day, folks.
Day 3. Forgotten Secrets. gather a rock to dig gravel.
Wow.
So now we know where the mutant people come from.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we got all the answers we were looking for.
Yeah, that was... So, we're probably just going to go into that secret lab. Like, that makes the most sense to me. Just, like, find it when it crops up, and then, hey, more weapons, more armor, more everything.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, I think that one's gonna be a fun one. I mean, it seemed like a lot of it was dug underwater. Kinda scared for that one.
Well, the vault doors have been opened. Everybody has been released. And like ants, they scurry out, and well, it's a dawn of the second day. And now I guess we can kind of see as well, like, how people are going to approach this too, if people have formed new alliances. And yeah, it's good to also see what guns and what weapons people have as well, because the GA at some point is going to be lifted, so then people could PvP once again, and then get down to the real business, the real dirty work, and go into the to that new secret laboratory. Oh, a quick preview of the map here and how far some people have traveled. You can see how large it is, Jojo, and how much people have to actually traverse.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a gigantic map, and it's only gonna get, you know, a little bit more filled in. Most people have only explored, I'd say, probably like 20 to 25% of the map. Today, they're probably gonna get about half of it, because they're gonna have to go to a brand new monument. I like that everyone is still here, kind of just chatting with people. I mean, with the gentleman's agreement still on, PvP is disabled. You can vibe. You can just hang out with some people, and you can see some of the players who have these models we were talking about that kind of expose your position, but it also gives you a free hit, right? So there's a lot of different models that you could possibly be wearing, but as funny as it is, it does also help you in the gameplay.
Right, and I think that's pretty important. Yeah, you definitely want to have one of those. Like, tanking one hit could mean the chance of life and death. And oh, another thing I want to mention too, you can kind of see where everybody's at in terms of weaponry and armor and stuff as well. So like, you kind of know if you're behind or ahead. It's going to give you a good idea of, well, I probably should push today. I probably should be playing a little bit more risky, because this person has like 3 weapons over me. This person has like a tier 2. This hasn't, you know. So thinking about that is going to be fairly important. And, you know, forming the alliances too. We can see a couple of people as we do zip through who's still in groups. So looks like a small little group here with Zoka. He's actually got a horse as well, which is kind of nice. No crazy tier 2 weapons though, only a couple of tier 1s.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. I completely agree with you, kind of just checking what weapons people have, you know, how stacked are they. You can see that they are actually within an alliance of 3 people total. So you can see it on the bottom right of their Minecraft screen. You see Zoka, you see Hitbox, and Fairly Gab. I'm rooting for Fairly Gab. I'm rooting for a lot of people. I have a lot of friends in this event, okay? All right. But you can see is like they're seems like maybe they're having to reinvite one another into these alliances.
Oh, right. Finding your friends again.
Did Fairly Gab just get removed from that alliance? Oh my god, did we just watch that happen?
Wait, there's no way. Yeah, did that actually just happen?
That might have just happened before our eyes.
Just a quick kick?
Wow, just like that.
Oh my god.
All right. I do think maybe they're adding another person here to their alliance. So this is exactly what I was talking about earlier, where like the bunker talk is ultimately going to bring in more people to your alliance and, you know, sort of build up some friendships. And at least if it's not a formal alliance, it's more of like a understanding of, okay, if I see you, I'm just gonna walk away, right?
Yeah, it's good that people realize that actually strength in numbers is important. We can see too on the map, the caves are still open as well. So I would imagine, especially in the GA period, people are just going to be running towards the caves because they know everybody else can't kill them. So getting there, getting as much loot as possible. I would assume because the server is reset, the loot has also been reset. So just beelining it for a cave might be the first play you'd want to make.
Yeah, that's actually a really good question, because I do remember an announcement coming up yesterday mentioning how they would the world would sort of reset and all of that. But I don't know if that just meant resources or if it meant all of the loot like inside of chests as well, which is something that we're gonna have to look forward to here because this could actually give some of the teams that maybe are kind of lacking in weapons a chance to start stacking themselves up. We see Locochon has allies. They're in an alliance here.
They're like, well,
They
if I don't make it again, you guys can make it without me. I believe. Or at least he's got people to kind of tell him, hey, we need to move, by the way. We need to move. Yeah,
right.
the bunkers, please.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's the main thing I'm concerned about, or I guess surprised by, is Locochon didn't have an alliance yesterday, and now they do. So that bunker talk really, really came in handy.
Giving each other advice as well. It's a competition, but everything can still be friendly.
Absolutely, absolutely. One of our teams of 4 formed here. I think yesterday we had only seen 2 teams that had a full alliance. Oh my god! Oh, those
I'm telling you,
plants.
on
Oh,
day, the
wait.
fact that they spring out of nowhere is kind of funny.
Yeah. What in the world?
Can you
That
imagine
is
that next to the
terrible.
landmine? You just got it hits you, landmine goes off. That's an easy kill.
Right?
W.
Oh my gosh. I would love to see a landmine clip up on the big screen. That would be hilarious. But yeah, anyway, it does seem like all the loot has been reset. So I think, especially for at least in this screen that we're watching right now, you don't really see any weapons in their hotbar, right? Which comes across to me that they urgently need to go to some of those caves and try to get some of the loot in there because it's going to be pretty hard to get stacked up now. Oh, wait, hold on.
Wait a second.
Something just happened. It was just a reminder that you can only make one alliance of up to 4 people.
God, I thought that was
Okay.
the GA going down already. I was like, oh my, wait a second.
Yeah.
We're about to see
I
some
was-
action straight away.
Yeah, right? I was about to say, like, this group, they all would have died right there.
Yeah,
They would have
yeah.
started fighting.
One grenade, or like,
Oh my
got
god.
confirmation as well. Reset. So
Yes.
you really want to run to the caves. Like, you can dawdle around, you can have some fun here. Just saying, there might be better weapons. I see you only have a pistol in your inventory. Maybe a rifle in the caves. Maybe some extra good ammunition, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's the most important thing is the ammo. I think some people were struggling a little bit yesterday with the ammo, and I feel like maybe just going straight to one of those giant caverns and nabbing some of the loot, you're not gonna have to worry about ammo for the rest of the day.
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty good point as well. Like, making sure you have backup ammo is pretty important. We saw a lot of people yesterday just trying to take people down at range with the shoddy and stuff. Obviously not the best use of ammo, but you got to make sure you got spares. You got to make sure you're packing, because otherwise, yeah, if you find yourself in an odd situation, your gun runs out of ammo, what you're gonna ask them to gentlemanly duel with a sword? Probably not. Probably not. They're
Right.
probably just gonna run you down.
No, yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, we see as El Ojo Ninja here is still a solo, but they do seem to be approaching all of the general location of where the giant caverns are at. So I guess maybe the bunker talk didn't help with our friend El Ojo Ninja here, but maybe they'll become friends with some people in the meantime, right? In the next couple of hours today.
Yeah, I'm not sure we'll be able to get stats or anything on that, but I would love to see how many people are in and out of alliances currently, because I can't imagine there are too many people that are solo at this point. But yeah, it's something we'll find out during the day. I'm almost sure of it. A lot of people yesterday too also getting a ton of value from supply drops as well, which dropped really decent material. Ammo, there was a lot of weapons that were dropped too, and that was just off the back of the creature hunt challenges, which required you to kill like 1 mosquito or like 4 boars. We saw a lot of people going after that, and yeah, even Kurio, which we mentioned earlier, had like 5 supply drops, meaning they probably killed people for their supply drops. Speaking of solo players though, Spreen on your screen right now, just stealing some ammunition from the cornucopia, which has been restocked, of course.
Absolutely. I mean, Spreen still has 0 alliances, but they're not getting off their horse. They're in the cornucopia right now. As we mentioned, the loot has been reset. So maybe some people are kind of, heading straight towards the giant caves. Meanwhile, Spreen and some of our other, maybe solo players or rather small alliances are heading straight to the cornucopia because you know what? It's a little bit easier to loot. You don't need to enter this huge open cavern that could be filled with mobs. You just got to go into this generally safe area, especially since the gentleman's agreement is still on, and get as many bullets as possible. I mean, holy cow. I see several stacks in his inventory there.
If you're fast at looting, like you're gonna be better off in these situations. Although it looks like this team has got this whole cornucopia to themselves. So I mean, that's free. Oh, there's a tier 2 shotgun right there, Jojo. So yeah, big weapons coming in the cornucopia. And I love the people that were like chatting and messing around. Meanwhile, like half of the lobby is half the other side of the lobby is just like, well, we're just gonna get loot. Like, you guys are not gonna stand a chance against us.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think this is severely helpful for especially small alliances like this that don't have a full team of 4. I mean, I'm saying small alliance. I mean, they're a team of 3. That's pretty large, right?
Pretty big,
yeah, that's pretty big. But ultimately, I think you definitely want to start right away and start getting all of this loot. I think it's one thing to be fast at looting, but it's a whole other thing to be I guess having that proper inventory management, because you could see they have like 6 backpacks in their inventory and they still can't fit stuff in there.
Yeah, that's the bundles, which is something we mentioned a lot yesterday too, have been really helpful. You don't really want to put like ammo in there and stuff, just like basics that you're gonna need and you can like unpack later on. But they've been extremely well utilized by some players. Some of them have like 6 bundles in their inventory, which expands it a whole bunch because each bundle was it 4 it held or was it 6?
I think it was 9.
Oh, it was 9. Yeah, so you're going like
Maybe.
+8 in terms of inventory space there, for every single bundle. So yeah, especially if you're solo, it's definitely worthwhile.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I know that I would be crafting loads of them, but they seem kind of tedious to use because you can't particularly open a bundle and grab one specific thing out of it. I think you need to like just kind of click it and everything just kind of comes out. So it can become a mess as well. So you need to be very strategic about where you place certain items. And we see Konterstein here has a lot of medkits. I don't know if you saw in their inventory. They had like, I think 3 or 4 different stacks of medkits, which it's always nice to, look at that. There's so many medkits in their inventory, but also a lot of ammo.
If you're thinking you're going to get into a lot of gunfights, probably worthwhile. Getting those medkits off can be quite hard though, because there's a long timer, long use time. So getting those off might be quite tough. We saw a couple of times yesterday where people were just running away trying to use medkits. They just get run down because you're so slow. There's an injector as well, a stim, so that'll be helpful too. And when the new zone does unlock, you best believe like people are just going to be popping stims, running in there and just seeing what they can find. Especially if you've got absorption potions too. The new monsters, they're going to be tough to take down.
Absolutely. And here we have Fairly Gav. Let's go. One of my friends. Lovely human. Incredible person. I hope they do well. But, it seems like they're no longer in an alliance. So we saw her in an alliance like not even like 3 minutes ago. And now they're just completely alone. But you know what? Maybe that's the play, right? Maybe you want to save all of these resources for yourself and then eventually start, talking to other people once you're sort of situated all on your own. You can see she is locked in. She's looking around. I mean, I heard her say horse. Maybe she's looking for a horse. It's definitely a game of mobility and a game of who can get the resources quickest. So, maybe playing by herself is the better thing to do here. Maybe that's her strat.
Yeah, I like people taking different strats. Yeah, I mean, there is definitely merits to playing solo, and like you said, don't have to share as much loot, and so you get a lot of it for yourself. But when you do run up on people, you're hoping really that people just kind of, if you see a fight going down, that you can third party at the very last moment and just try and pick off some weak stragglers and win fights that way. That's probably the best way to play solo, especially in these big engagements. But we've not seen we've seen a couple of people taking 1v1s, but there's not been any like big team fights just yet. But as we go later on, the plant, okay, all good. As we go later on, then yeah, we're gonna see some like all-out conflict.
100%. Yeah, I mean, I know yesterday we got very, very close to seeing like an all-out fight between George and Shadoon's team. But it ended up, they ended up just doing a 1v1 and ran away before the rest of the team came in. I definitely think we're going to be seeing some team fights today. I think the team fights are going to be what's very interesting to see if there's any sort of betrayal, but also how the, sharing resources goes, if that adds any drama to the teams. It's going to be an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, exactly that. And it would be funny to see two teams like go up against each other, but they're both kind of friends, right? Is that going to be like an even bigger truce, like ceasefire? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, it's obviously all to find out. See, I'm really nervous for some of these players, and we're like flipping through different POVs right now, and some of them don't have guns, like they don't have weapons. Yeah, you've really got to put pedal to the metal, it feels like.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of people prefer melee fights over gunfights.
That's a good point.
And I do think that's important, but especially since we saw that, the monument today is going to be sort of a water type area, I think you're going to prefer having those long distance weapons, like having scoped weapons, because ultimately it's going to be really hard to shoot or not shoot. It's going to be really hard to kill someone if you're chasing them down swinging a sword, meanwhile they're shooting at you from 5-10 blocks ahead of you.
Yeah, exactly. Like that range advantage will be massive, especially like looking at the terrain that you're seeing right now across like giant hills. Easy to spot people from far away and take pop shots, right? But when you get into the jungle area, it feels like you're going to need a shotgun, maybe a rifle or something like that. Definitely something that's like automatic. So having a mixture of both is going to be fairly important. Giant giant green zone? Have we ever seen that before?
We have not seen that just quite yet.
Curious what
So
that
it seems like it seems like that might be a monument that we have yet to discover, and because of that, it's kind of blocked off by some borders. But maybe that's going to be a tomorrow sort of monument that we're going to get to see. I can't tell if that's the labs that we were talking about. Or that we saw in the cinematic. But if it is, maybe it's kind of a good idea to stick around this area and wait for those borders to drop.
Yeah, I'm curious if this player's just going to stick around here, because that might drop and then, hey, you're right next to it. You're going to be the first one in there, First one to find the new area, you're going to get all the best loot. So it does also look like a lot of people have managed to team up. We're seeing a lot of new faces on this portion of the stream, which is kind of nice. And a lot of alliances have been formed, it seems like, overnight. So pretty helpful, especially at this point of the game.
Yeah. I have been noticing a lot more teams with up to 4 people, filled into their alliance, which I think it's really, really, really good for a lot of these players, especially some of the players who don't have many weapons because maybe they just never got around to finding those weapons. But yeah, it's definitely going to be benefiting some people. We see Cool Life Game and Locochon kind of just scouting out an area with their horses, which I'm a little nervous. I don't want them to get jumped or like trip over a landmine or something, but the mobility, it's spectacular.
Oh my god.
I don't know how he sees anything right now.
That's what I was saying. Like, how can you see anything in here? Maybe we got the brightness turned up to max on the monitor, I guess.
Right? I don't see anything. Oh, so someone just left their alliance. So it seems like Bree just left their alliance. Interesting. So is that strategical, or did they just go in a separate way? Oh no, they're right
Not sure.
there.
Yeah, or maybe it was an accident then. Yeah, okay. That was it was a little worrying, I'd say.
Yeah,
Like,
I think
okay,
they,
you're
I think
leaving
they're
right
maybe
now?
just.
Like,
I think they're just restructuring how it works, so they should allegedly be okay.
allegedly.
No, no, ya no hay nada.
Other
Alguien
smaller
está
lines
allá
here
afuera.
as
Se
well.
han spawnado aquí cosas.
Yeah, it does feel like you just need to jump into the caves, the deep caves, like quickly while the GA's not on. It seems like a lot of players have been doing that, so that's
Yeah.
always a good thing. Always nice
It's
to
definitely
to
the
note.
smart thing to do.
Yeah, for sure.
I think when there is no PvP enabled, you want to sort of take these monuments and these, high loot areas head on as aggressive as possible. Because otherwise, you may get left behind on the loot. You
Yeah.
don't want that to happen, especially once the gentleman's agreement drops and you are able to start damaging other players once again.
Yeah, and the more loot you get, the more you deny it from other teams too,
Yep.
which is
Yeah,
fairly
we're seeing
good.
we're seeing yet another huge alliance here. Filled team of 4.
It's good.
And they're just mining some resources. When there's nothing new to the map, you just got to go back to your roots. You got to go back. You got to have fun. you just gotta go mining resources, get stacked up as much as possible. I'm sure all of these players are at the edge of their seats, just sort of waiting for the next challenge or maybe for the next monument to show up. It'll definitely be interesting how all the players sort of react once all of that starts kicking in.
Yeah, and there's no timer either as well, so it could crop up at any moment. Same with the GA as well. Normally there's a little timer just hinting that something is going to happen at some point, but nothing that we can see yet. We can see a few people here just almost close to actually crafting their own weapons, and I think that's going to be a big point for today. If you can craft your own ammo, that's going to be really important. Because with ammo, you don't have to rely on like the cornucopias. You don't have to rely on the supply drops either. You can just go back, mine what you need to, find like whatever kind of objects that are required to actually build the ammo, and then just do it yourself. So you're not as reliant on like discovering things or maybe even fighting other people off of like ammo drops and stuff. So we see a lot of players making a fairly decent way through the tech tree.
Yeah, I was also just looking at that whenever T Vander here or Ender had opened up their tech tree. But yeah, I completely agree, and it kind of roots back to something we were talking about earlier, where we were mentioning you could end up winning this entire thing by playing the hiding game. If you just stay hidden the entire time and then you come out at the perfect time to sort of do a little bit of cleanup crew, that's totally possible. Right? You can craft your own weapons, you can craft your own ammo, you can craft your armor, you can pretty much get looted up without having to go to any monuments or put yourself in much danger. But ultimately, it's going to be that difference of strength with, people having syringes and people having tier 1 loot. So you just got to play it as strategical as you possibly can. And holy cow, this player has a lot of medkits and a lot of ammo. Oh my goodness.
They are kitted.
everything.
They know exactly how they want to play. Like, that is an inventory that's for someone that wants to get into a fight. Like, for
yeah.
sure.
Oh yeah. That was a little scary. I didn't like that mosquito. But it seems like they've already entered the giant caves here. So they're back underground. They're just exploring through all of this cave, trying to get
so
as much loot as
long.
possible.
Like,
It's
there's
huge.
just
It truly is
so
giant.
much to cover.
Yeah.
But yeah, really good play. Getting in here ASAP. Just know what they need to craft is important too. Just like raiding the chests. The inventory space, thinking about it more, is like quite a limiting factor. Because you can make the bundles, but if you haven't got that, you need to keep at least some food. You need a canteen for the water, obviously. And then you need at least like, what, 1 stack, maybe 2 stacks of ammo, depending on what weapon you kind of have. And then your weapon during your hotbar, you need your tools as well. So there aren't like too many spaces that you can really utilize. to like do other things. So inventory management is going to be pretty damn important, especially as we move later on in the game.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, we've already seen some people struggling with their inventory management. I think it's going to be just one of those things where, especially after you get a kill or you start looting up, you know, the cornucopia or whatever it is,
Yeah.
you got to make a decision of, okay, how much ammo is enough ammo, and can I leave this behind, or you know, can I drop, you know, this one gun? Maybe I'm not going to utilize it as much as these other weapons.
I wonder if people have got to the point where they bury weapons now, or like bury items. I was thinking about that yesterday when people were finding kills. I was like, are you going to take all the loot? Are you going to try and bury it somewhere? Like, just bury it a few blocks down so no one else gets it? Because, like, at the end of the day, if you do leave that loot lying around, it doesn't despawn. Some, like, scavengers could, like, come up and you scoop all that loot up that you didn't manage to pick up.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm 100% that type of player who, if I see like a big pile of loot, I will jump in and I will read through everything that I could possibly have and loot it all up. So yeah, I'm definitely that type of player. But yeah, I think if I were in that position, I'd definitely, you know, try to play the game of grab all the loot and then bury it somewhere, you know, throw it into lava if there's lava. I don't think we've seen lava in any of these caves just quite yet. But you know, definitely burying that loot, I feel like it's going to be very important, especially once you take down some of the really good players who have like crazy weapons and you just can't carry all of it. You don't want to leave that laying around.
Yeah, oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You could also use that as a bait, though, right? You leave some loot lying around, you just hide up in the trees or something, and then you just snipe people. Just a
that's
five-head
so
play.
smart.
Yeah, you just
That's
like
so smart.
if you already say for example you've already got a tier 2 weapon, right? You leave one on the ground, it's just kind of sitting there like, oh, just chilling. Oh, I'm just a free weapon just sitting on the ground, and then you're just up in the trees, up in the tree line, just waiting for someone to come along. Boom, boom, boom. Easy
That's
kill,
actually
easy
so
game.
smart. I
Hey.
really hope someone does that.
That and the mines too. Just saying. Weapon on the ground, mine right next to it. You hear that mine go, well, now you're dead.
Oh my gosh, wait. I really hope someone does that because that sounds really fun.
Hey, you never
Oh
know.
gosh.
What is happening? Do they trap a monster? Oh no, they're keeping their horses in.
Oh,
that's a
yeah,
good
I thought
idea,
that was
okay.
a panther in there.
Yeah,
I was
so
like,
did
what in
I.
the world?
They trapped a panther. We saw that yesterday where someone like managed to trap the panther because they were chasing them into their like underground base. It looks so ridiculous. Also, just noticed it now. 2 minutes left on this timer here. Either I can
Oh,
imagine
yeah.
that's probably the GA, if not maybe the new section of the map. I really hope the GA goes down, then the new section of the map pops up. A lot of conflict will happen if that's the case.
Yeah, that'll be some drama there. But yeah, since we were just looking at horses, it actually reminded me of another clip that I saw from day 2. And I don't know if you remember me mentioning this yesterday, but I was telling you how sometimes in these battle royale type games, people who are on their horses, sometimes they get off their horse to sort of initiate a fight. And, you know, once you've already tamed a horse and it has a saddle on it, anyone can get on that horse and ride it, right?
Yeah.
I saw a clip from one of our players, Goldie, who was getting attacked by a team of 2, or maybe it was a team of 3, but he dug himself into a tree, waited for them to get close, and then one of the people who was attacking him got off their horse, so he
Oh.
jumped out and stole their horse, which was hilarious. I mean, it's those types of plays that are going to get you out of sticky situations.
Yeah.
And then most importantly, get you one step closer to that $100,000. It was just such an epic, you know, thing to see. Just I don't know. I really hope I get to see more of it.
You got to be creative, right? You got
yeah.
to be creative in these situations. That's
Absolutely.
exactly the creativity that I kind of want to see, and like other players might not be able to expect. You do something unexpected, you know, players aren't going to be ready for it. It's all good.
It's
Looks
true.
like they're trying to get the
It's true.
horses out here, by the way. 6
Yeah,
seconds
I mean-
on the timer though, Jojo.
Oh yes, I didn't even see it.
Yeah,
Let's see what happens.
time
2,
does slip
1,
away.
0.
Okay, there's the
Gentleman's
GA.
agreement.
GA
There it
down.
is.
PvP has been enabled. I'm honestly looking at the chat box right now. I'm wondering how quickly it takes for someone to actually pick up a kill. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
right?
I mean, the big groups of people that were kind of messing around at the start, they're probably on their own at this point. They probably dispersed. But with 116 players remaining, that number's going to fall pretty damn quick.
Yeah, yeah. I'm really excited to see, you know, who initiates the first fight coming up. You know, we're gonna have to wait for the next monument to open up so that we actually do start seeing some teams and solos sort of come across each other and start picking out some fights. But that's going to be extremely exciting. I really want to see a big team fight, especially the utilization of the syringes and all of that, you know, the thermal vision and stuff. I really want someone to just spot an entire team by putting on thermal vision and then
That would
like
be so
freaking
good.
out.
God,
Yeah.
I completely forgot about those items as well. Was it Curryway yesterday that had thermals and MVGs?
Yep.
Like I'm pretty
Yep.
sure it was. Like the night vision goggles are sick for the caves, but the thermal might go hard in like a woodland setting, especially where if people are like kind of blended in, you are gonna get spotted so fast. It's such a big advantage. Here's one of the crazy people from yesterday, Spreen, obviously on your screen. We jumped him back with him. Cave about 900 meters ahead, but really decent weapons. And he looks like he's actually spotted people in the distance too, lining up a couple of shots. A little bit over the head.
Headshot.
5.5 points of damage.
Headshot.
A double headshot. Oh, easy chase down now. Half HP. Should easily just run at them. He's got the headhunter pistol. A lot of recoil on this revolver. He's got a shotgun, but it looks like they're going to fire back.
Oh my goodness gracious. So Spreen is picking a fight with a team of 2. It seems it could be more people in there, but this is terrifying. You can see Spreen is backing up. They weren't officially aware of the other team. It's a team of 4.
It was a team of 4, Jojo.
So it seems like Spreen has fully backed off here, but this is a scary team to come against. I mean, we know Setting is someone who's pretty good at the
Good
game,
damage.
if I had to say. I mean, you can see Spreen is still shooting shots from across the mine here. I don't think Spreen knows that it's an entire team of 4.
A good
He
good
needs
presence
to-
of mind though. He saw 2 people and then just like backed up. Want to play range? You know, you've probably got the advantage in terms of guns. Like get high ground instantly, and then you can just snipe people off. Look at this! What a position! Another headshot,
my-
double headshot. Spree's a madman
doesn't
with this
miss.
rifle. Actually, doesn't miss. It's good damage too, right? You're forcing people to eat up. You're forcing people to drink more too to regen their HP, Jojo. So any chip damage, and because he's solo and because he had so many kills yesterday, he probably has an infinite amount of ammo to use.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if we just take count of the 5.6
Good
damage that
shots.
he's been doing with that, I mean, that's with 2 hits, that's already 10 HP. If
Yeah.
they don't have great armor, that's about half the health. And uh-oh, we see a bat actually coming up.
Oh, don't
Never
worry
mind.
about it.
It's
Don't worry
easy.
about it.
It's easy when you have a shotgun. So it seems like he might be using a syringe here if they're actually coming up to him.
Trying to
I'm very curious to
negotiate,
see what he's
perhaps?
going to do here. They want to approach this. They want to
Yes.
fight this.
Well, luckily they're right below him right now, so Spring can't really aim directly down. It's worth keeping in mind too, the teammates can res each other. So if one goes down, you can hit the res, and if they manage to stick it and get them up, unless Spring finishes them off, they might be good. Looks like Spring's just trying to get some height on his adversaries right now, just digging directly upwards. You could even bore into the cliff if you really wanted. But yeah, pretty aware that people are just sending hella shots. Nice use of the blocks to block a lot of that fire off. And this is it. This is just pure movement right now, just trying to get out ASAP, Jojo.
Absolutely. I could tell that he used one of the syringes he has.
They have terrible
Oh,
weapons.
Crazy shot there. Seems like he is actually getting cornered right now. He might not have enough blocks. If he keeps digging into the wall, he might be able to escape from this. But they are going up. They do not care. They want to fight this.
They've got
this
bad
is a very
weapons,
dangerous
though.
position.
This kind of worries me, actually. Those people on the front lines, they best have shotties or something, because we know Spreen has the red tier 2 shotgun. We just saw it double tap a bat. like easy.
It's true,
Also,
it's true.
kills coming in bottom left right now. Soypan taking the first blood of today. Larry also picking up a kill. And yeah, I mean, Elspreen looks like potentially has made it out already. Again, good presence of mind. Seeing a couple of people backing up. Don't play it too fast. Just don't play it fast and lose. Just know the disadvantage that you're in against multiple players.
Absolutely. Seems like there might be a fight.
Oh, this was a kill. This was Soypan's kill.
Oh, true. They just finished them off. Seems like they're fully out of the game. RIP. But, oh no, it seems like...
Oh my god! Wait,
Elspreen
he's stuck!
has-
He's stuck between gravel! I think he might just go down. I think that's it. Oh! Wait,
oh my
literal 1 HP manages to get out of the gravel. Needs to be able to dig upwards, though, as people are trying to get to him. There's 2 people making chase right now. No full thirst meter Jojo, so getting back up to 20 is going to be important for the Elspreen to actually get health back, but literally 1 HP. Could not be lower right now.
The suffocation to gravel is one of the worst things to happen, especially if you don't have a shovel handy, ready to sort of help yourself out. The fact that he was able to get out of that with 1 HP is insane. I thought he was out. I thought he was dead there. He is at 1 heart, literally any amount of damage, and he is out of the game with 0 teammates to help him up. So he's going to have to find healing as soon as possible. Any amount of water, any amount of syringes that maybe have regen, that would be insanely helpful right now. I don't think he
that's what
has
he's
it
looking
though.
for right now. I don't think he's got water. Oh no, is
Oh,
that the
he's drinking
canteen?
it.
Okay, back
There
up.
it
There
is.
you go. There's the HP coming back up. Also, Jojo, worth keeping in mind too, top right of people's screens right now, the elimination. I believe that is the bounty hunter. So yeah, you need to eliminate one of your targets. Obviously, we can't see it right now as Spreen is fully in the dark, regaining HP, trying to escape the 2 players that are hot in pursuit.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think this escape is insane, but I think he's actually gonna make it out of this. I mean, it's really hard to see, but it seems like he's digging blocks and moving horizontally right now. I don't think he's moving vertically. Maybe he is. I really wish I could tell. Oh, actually, yeah, he is moving vertically. I just lied to you. He's digging blocks up and then placing planks beneath him to keep going up, slowly regenerating. He needs to keep eating food so that he can continue regenerating, but he's already up to 16 HP or 15, kind of hard to see, but that was an insane escape. I cannot believe he actually survived with 1 heart. You can see he was very stressed about not being able to break the gravel because I don't know if you remember this, but one of the just survival things from the very beginning, in order to break gravel, you need to use a rock, I believe it was, and he was having a hard time.
You're so right. I forgot about that.
You know, it's those little things, those little details that you don't really think about when you're playing, you know, a more aggro type of game. You're in the middle of combat. You're just trying to do your thing. But, I mean, ultimately, he was able to get out of it. I mean, huge props for being able to get out of that. But insane. Genuinely impressive.
Considering how well Spreen has done, that would have been the worst way to go out. He's just dying randomly like that. That would have been disaster. Thank goodness he's alive. And yeah, I think he's thanking his quick reflexes there as well. I mean, here's H-Bomb though on your screens. H-Bomb and George doing so much work yesterday.
Let's go. Yeah, so H, I believe, had 3 kills yesterday, and George had 4, which is 2 of the most kills seen out of the entirety of yesterday. Here we have the rest of the team who is after Spreen. It seems like maybe they gave up. They're going back down. They're going into the cave. They said, you know what? I don't need to worry about this no more. He got away. Let's just keep on vibing.
Just vibe. Vibe out. Don't want to go crazy right now. This is what we need on everybody's screens, Jojo. I would love to have seen Spreen's heart rate monitor there. That would have been near the 200s.
You should have seen mine. Oh my god. It was through the roof. Getting himself another horse for mobility. I mean, yeah, that was terrifying. I'm sure he's trying to get away as far as possible from this.
Wait, ping. Okay, you're 300 blocks away from him.
What is...
Oh my goodness.
What is killing George right now?
Was he in the
Oh, a
cave?
giant
I
cave
am
bug.
down.
I see.
If I die,
Yeah,
the
so
giant
he's
cave
trying
Run
to
towards me,
I
run
killed
towards
it.
me, run
eat
towards
up and drink
got him,
up.
we got
But I
him.
didn't get the challenge. What? I didn't get the challenge.
me. Was it an anteater?
Oh,
or was
interesting.
It a
That was surely a tardigrade, right, guys?
Oh, maybe.
So
Okay.
that's what the
That was the
challenge
thing,
is
right?
for.
That's what the chat. Okay,
had
so it's
the-
not
it
bounty
surely
hunter.
must
My
have had
mistake.
so
My
much health.
mistake. It
was
was
an
just a
anteater?
regular
was
monster
the anteater,
challenge,
yeah, I was
which
gonna
we
say
had
the anteater had
yesterday.
so much health
It was a
when I fought
mosquito
one
and
of
then
them.
a couple of 3 boars, I believe.
Oh, maybe it was an anteater then.
That's right. I'm curious to see all of George's skill tree here because, or tech tree, you know, whatever it is. Just curious to see what that looks like. But, oh my goodness.
What is happening? Just these mosquitoes. There, it's
The
just on his head,
mosquitoes
just
are-
doing a 360 on someone's head there. All good.
There it is. There it is. That was a little stressful. If you shot 2 pixels down, you would have
I
shot your
know.
own teammate. That's what I was waiting to see if it would happen.
That would have been a lot of damage. It's like when you've got a bee on you or a fly on you, and your friends come in over with the electrified little tennis racket thing, and they're trying to hit it
Oh,
off you
yeah.
without trying to shock you as well.
Yeah. Oh, wow, the snipe on the mosquito there. That's
Okay.
crazy.
People showing off the aim. I like that. I like what you see.
Only a minute left on the challenge.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
it seems like it's not counting for anyone. It seems like they were also trying to get the challenge there, and it just didn't count for them either. So let's see. Oh, Curryway, Daznarth, and Fruitberries in an
Ooh.
alliance? Are you
That-
kidding me?
That is a
over.
scary alliance. That has got to be one of the strongest teams out there right now.
Next thing you know, they're gonna add in Feinberg to their
Yeah.
alliance, and it's over. Like
They just need to
one of them
find
is
him.
going to win. Like, oh my gosh, that is insane.
I'm backing up. I'm like.
Holy cow. I am.
No, I'm pretty.
I just feel bad for the rest of the competition. I just feel bad. There is just genuinely the only way you. Oh! Speaking of Feinberg, he might be joining George
and
and
H-bomb.
So what do you have to do in your screens?
Yeah,
my
it looks
God.
like they're sending
he's joining
sending
them.
the alliance. Yeah.
Like we're in the thing,
Wow.
but then I just can't hear you guys.
What an insane alliance. So we've got 2 incredibly strong alliances right now, just being formed in front of our eyes. Feinberg, George, H-bomb, now all grouped up in an alliance. Speaking of alliances, this was another big one from yesterday. Hannah Rose, Snapchat and puns, of course. So yeah, a lot of strong alliances being formed. And, I mean, you've got to at this point. I think people have realized how good that is. And another aspect of it, which we spoke about at the pre-show, was actually just finding people that you want an alliance with. There's a lot of people
Right.
that Curryway have just stumbled across and they've just ended up killing them. But it's like, oh, okay, I know you're strong players, right? So we'll group up. Makes the most sense for both of us.
Right. Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, we have seen 3 very strong alliances now. I think this is a very scary team. I mean, Hannah is just one of those players who, no matter what event she's in, she always makes sure to leave a mark of, making it far into the competition or just simply winning it. And same with Sapnap. I mean, we've seen him win events before, Twitch Rivals before, and Puns, just an incredibly well-rounded player. Not only just plays Minecraft, but also plays FPS games, strategy games, and it's all those different, abilities that you need and skills in order to, take on
Oh,
games
dear.
like this one. And you can see
They're chasing. It looks
They're
like they're
coming
chasing
up
a whole
across-
squad. Good shots
aim!
by
I'm
Puns.
telling you.
Easy elimination. I mean, there's just no way you get away from that. They all had horses too, and he was just firing off the back of the horse. We're speaking about how important mobility is. Like, look at this. I mean, the firepower here is just immense.
there was no way you could run away from that
Easy kills.
unless you dug straight down and jumped into a cave. But even then, it would have been hard to run away from them. I mean, all of these players are, as I was just hyping them up, they prove my point that they are just a force that you do not want to come up against, which is why I want to see them go up against some of the other strong teams. I feel like that's going to be an epic battle But yeah, I mean, all incredibly, incredibly well-rounded players, and thank you for proving it for me, guys. You know,
Yeah.
it's like they heard me and they
Thank
were
you
like,
for
"Here,
that.
let me show you my skill."
Perfect stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, can you run away if you haven't got a horse? Probably not. You want to stand and fight, but the firepower that they had, they got tier 2 weapons. I think all of them have tier 2 weapons, in fact, Jojo. Like, they've been farming these cornucopias, and now they're just farming players.
Oh yeah, I mean that's what I was mentioning too. Like I'm pretty sure this team, or rather that team that we had just seen, is one of those teams that's gonna go very, very aggro. And I think now that the gentleman's agreement is officially off, it's time for them to just start rolling. Here
Yeah.
we see another team